For today's video, we're going to get some gameplay with the new Powder Keg Bow, which is currently available in the event store for 1,680 gold. And not only was the Powder Keg Bow added to the event store, but Blakebeard the Black-Hearted Mythic Constructor was also added to the event store, and he's available for 3,200 gold. And once you get him, you'll also get the Blakebeard Stash Team perk. But we've already gotten gameplay of him. I'll be sure to leave a link to that gameplay in the description if you want to go check it out. Anyways, here's what the Powder Keg Bow looks like up close. Sort of looks like it has a tiny explosive barrel on the tip of the arrow. But yeah, that's what it looks like. And the perks that came with it were damage, physical damage to miss monsters and bosses, and damage dealt with this weapon snares the target by 30% for 6 seconds. At most, you can have up to 4 damage perks. You can also have up to 2 crit damage perks. And you'll also be able to choose between any element. Alright, so we just maxed it out, and the perks we're going to use are crit damage ×2 crit rating, physical damage, and damage to slowed and snared. And at the very bottom it says Sniper Rifle Bow Flintlock. Fires an arrow that drops over time, damage range and velocity increase with charge time. Arrow explodes after 2 seconds. And just like in yesterday's video, we're going to use a couple of different loadouts. But first I want to see how much damage we can deal with it. So while we test it, we're going to use Rabbit Raider Jonesy as our commander with the Totally Rockin' Out team perk. And for our support team we have Swamp Knight, Main Stage Quinn, Redline Ramirez, Crossbones Barrett, and Breakbeat Wildcat. And the mission we're going to do is this 132 Repair the Shelter, because it's the only one that has a mini boss. And we're also going to be doing it solo. Wait, isn't this the same thing Sky uses to bounce up and down on?
You know, I don't mean to be rude, but do you have a more comfortable chair? This one's really hurting my back.
Oh my God, Quagmire! You come out from under there!
I'm sorry, everybody. I just wanted to meet her so bad. I can't do anything right.
I'll go have a talk with him.
So before we get into the gameplay, I do want to show an example of what it looks like. Whenever you shoot the powder keg, it'll release an arrow that sticks to whatever target you shoot at. And then 2 seconds later, that arrow is going to explode. When they do stick to structures or husk, you'll see the entire arrow burn like a little wick. It can also stick to husk as well as structures. And again, if it sticks to them, it'll explode 2 seconds later. But if you kill the husk with the arrow, then it's going to explode right away. And you don't have to wait 2 seconds. And it can also stick to structures that you've built, but it won't damage your built structures. And the size of the explosion is actually not too bad. Another thing I want to point out when it comes to the powder keg is that the explosion can crit as well as the initial hit. So right there we didn't crit on the initial hit, but our explosion did crit. And right there our explosion didn't crit. So you can't crit up to 2 times with every shot. So that's how the powder keg bow works. Next thing I want to do is test it against some miss monsters. Oh! Oh shit. Just making sure we're keeping our social distance. Look, he's stuck again. Smasher. Yeah, one job, Smasher. Need some help there, Smasher?
Dude, this is a Wendy's restaurant.
Shoot, in that case, give me a spicy chicken. I also want to see how much damage we deal against power level 132 miss monsters. And first, we're going to start off with the Smasher. With our initial hit, we dealt 460,000 damage. And we dealt over 500,000 from our explosion. And on our second hit, we dealt 500,000 damage again. And I couldn't see how much damage we dealt on the second explosion. But with our current loadout, it only took us 2 powder keg arrows to kill the Smasher. I also want to try it out against the Blaster. And we weren't able to crit on our initial hit right there. But we did over 770,000 damage from our powder keg explosion. And we were still able to kill him within just 1 arrow. And I also want to try it out against the Taker. And we were able to do 467,000 damage on our initial hit. And we were able to kill him within 1 arrow as well. So it seems like you'll be able to deal more damage from your explosion than you will from the initial hit. Because the most damage we dealt on impact was 500,000. And the most damage we dealt from our explosion was 770,000. I also want to use it with our war cry just to see how much damage we can deal with it. With our initial hit, we dealt 695,000 damage this time. And when it exploded, we dealt over 930,000 damage. And I think that's the most damage we dealt so far. But even with Warcry, it still took us 2 arrows to kill him. Oh, I shot him in the ass.
There's an arrow in your butt!
Smasher, what are you doing? When it comes to Riot Huskies, it looks like it explodes as soon as you hit their shield, and it doesn't deal any damage from the front either. So one thing you may want to do is shoot the ground, and then by the time they walk over it, you can deal damage to them that way. Or you try aiming for the little hole. But it's not going to do any damage if you just hit their shield with it. I also want to see if it causes propane tanks to explode if you hit it. And I also want to see if the explosion will cause propane tanks to explode. And it doesn't look like it does. Oh my. So it's not going to make propane tanks explode, even when the powder keg explodes. I also want to see if you can deal damage to the shield or shield. And it looks like it can. So I think the explosion you get from the powder keg can deal damage through the shield or shield, even though it doesn't pierce it. Anyways, here's what the fire rate and reload speed look like without any fire rate or reload speed perks. So yeah, the chargeback speed on this definitely feels a little bit slower than some other bows. But yeah, that's what the fire rate and reload speed look like. Alright, let's go ahead and start the mission. Alright, we got the first one. And another. And another. Oh man, we're finding all of them, people.
Finding those missing construction bots. Let me see if I can send some help.
Oh, there's two over here.
It might take a few minutes.
So when it comes to the powder keg, personally, I would not recommend maxing it out. Only because I feel like there are a lot of other bows that are better. Either when it comes to damage to single targets or damage to large groups of Hus. I feel like you're better off using some of the other bows. Like if I had to compare it to any other bow, I would say it's very similar to the boom bow.
Only 2 more modules.
The main difference being that this one has sort of a delay when it doesn't explode automatically, which sort of puts this at a disadvantage compared to the boom bow. It doesn't deal nearly as much damage as some of the other bows. Like I think the most damage we did with this one was like around 900,000. And we've done like over 2 million with some of the other bows. So not one of the best when it comes to damage either. Even when you include the initial hit and the explosion, it still doesn't deal nearly as much damage as some other bows. So yeah, in my opinion, I wouldn't recommend maxing it out. If anything, you may just want to get it for the collection book, but I don't think this is going to be a weapon I'm going to use often. I feel like we found those modules too quick. Hey, don't hate the strut, Grandpa.
Here they come.
Oh, okay.
Defend the shelter.
All right. So there's actually a couple things I kind of wanted to try to do. Let's see if we got an element. Oh, we got water on this one. Okay. Well, I guess the first thing I should point out is that we did go ahead and change our loadout. Right now we're using Stoneheart Farah. And instead of main stage Quinn, we're using Varsity Hero. We also have 3 defenders helping us out. And I also changed the element on our bow as well. I changed it to energy because I knew we were going to get an element. But that's pretty much the only things I changed. I don't think we'll be able to deal as much damage as we were doing earlier. But we should be able to kill more Hus faster because of our commander perk. But one thing I did want to... Oh, I'm about to blow myself up. One thing I did want to try was... I want to try to see if I can spam them. Because I feel like... with that slow charge speed... If we spam them, we'll be able to get more explosions. And I don't know, maybe it'll be a little bit more lethal. I just kind of feel like the way it is right now, it don't really do a whole lot of damage, people. So, not one of my favorite bows. Oh my goodness, what is going on? We got smashers, and I'm about to die. Okay. And I probably... Oh, mini boss is here too. Do I have a slow field? Yes, slow field. Okay. Let's see if we can get him. He's an epic husky nature, berserker. What else we got here? Vampiric. And I don't have anything to build my health up, so I'm gonna have to be careful here. Where you go, mini boss? No, come back. I didn't say you could leave. So we're gonna go ahead and try it out on this mini boss. See how much damage we can do. Kind of wishing I put down more lethal traps so I could trigger my totally rocking out. I didn't really put that many damage traps down, mainly wall launchers and floor traps to slow them down. We still got a minute and a half. I think we... Oh, no, don't disappear. Please don't disappear. I see him on the map. I think we're good.
Smasher!
We was like really close to killing him. Don't go nowhere, man. Where'd he go? Why are you all the way over here? But yeah, I think we have enough time to kill... Oh, what is this husky doing? What are you doing, husky? Oh, man. That was crazy.
60 seconds until shelter online.
We did not plan that ahead of time, people. That was totally random. But yeah, let's go ahead and try to see if we can spam them real quick. See if that helps. Like, not even pull it back.
Smasher spotted.
Oh, we almost got him. Come on, we can get him. Oh, he's building blocker. Okay. There we go. So that's what the powder keg looks like versus the power level 132 mini boss. Like I said, definitely not one of the best when it comes to damage to single targets. And I don't consider it to be one of the best when it comes to large groups of husk either. So in my opinion, I would say don't even waste your perk up. But that's just my personal opinion. For those of you who have tried it, let us know what you all think about it. But yeah, that'll do it for our first powder keg gameplay.
That's it!
Alright, so we got a level 4 loot chest with some gold, epic perk up, and survivor XP. We also got some gold for killing the mini boss, as well as some more survivor XP. We got some reperk and epic perk up. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. Hope y'all found the video useful, and thanks for watching.